Shadows of Fear, the legend of Blackwater Creek. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, where the trees whispered secrets and the fog clung to the ground like a shroud, lay a forgotten town known as Blackwater Creek. Once a bustling settlement, it had succumbed to time, leaving behind crumbling buildings and an eerie silence that echoed through its empty streets. The townsfolk had long since vanished, but their stories lingered like shadows in the corners of the mind. Stories that warned outsiders to stay away. The legend of Blackwater Creek was woven into the fabric of local folklore, a tale passed down through generations. It spoke of a dark entity that roamed the woods at night, a creature born from the fears and regrets of those who had lived there. They called it the Wraith, a specter that fed on despair and thrived in darkness. It was said that anyone who dared to venture into Blackwater Creek after sunset would never return. Despite these warnings, thrill seekers and horror enthusiasts were drawn to the town like moths to a flame. Among them was a group of 5 friends, Maya, Jake, Sarah, Tom, and Lily, who sought adventure and an adrenaline rush. They had heard whispers about Blackwater Creek during their late-night discussions over campfires and decided to explore its haunted depths one fateful weekend. As they drove deeper into the mountains, excitement bubbled within them. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the landscape before surrendering to twilight. The air grew thick with anticipation as they parked their car at the edge of town. A chill ran down Maya's spine as she stepped out. It felt as if the very ground beneath her feet was alive with memories. "You guys ready for this?" Jake asked with a grin that masked his unease. "Absolutely. Let's find out if this Wraith is real," Tom replied, his bravado echoing in the stillness. They wandered through the dilapidated streets, their flashlights cutting through the darkness like knives. Shadows danced on crumbling walls adorned with faded graffiti, remnants of lives once lived. As they explored abandoned houses and rusted cars overtaken by nature's relentless grip, they shared stories about what might have happened to those who once called this place home. "Legend has it that there was a family who disappeared without a trace," Sarah said as she peered into an old window. "They say they heard whispers in the night before vanishing." "Whispers? Sounds like just another ghost story," Lily scoffed, but couldn't shake off her growing discomfort. As night fell completely, an unsettling silence enveloped them. The wind howled through broken windows like mournful spirits, lamenting their fate. Suddenly, Tom suggested they head toward Blackwater Creek itself, a dark ribbon of water that wound its way through the woods beyond town. "Let's see if we can find any signs of this Wraith," he urged. Reluctantly, they agreed and made their way toward the creek under a blanket of stars obscured by ominous clouds. The path twisted and turned until they reached its banks, a murky expanse reflecting nothing but darkness. As they stood there, an unnatural chill swept through them. Maya felt it first, a prickling sensation at the back of her neck, as if someone were watching them from just beyond sight. She turned quickly but saw nothing except trees swaying gently in the breeze. "Did you feel that?" she whispered to Jake. "Feel what?" he replied dismissively, but glanced around nervously nonetheless. Suddenly, Sarah screamed, a sound so piercing it shattered their fragile sense of security. They turned to see her pointing toward something lurking in the shadows just beyond their flashlight beams, a figure cloaked in darkness with hollow eyes that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. It's real!" she gasped as panic set in. The Wraith emerged from its hiding place among twisted branches. Its form shifted like smoke caught in a tempest. It moved closer with an otherworldly grace, whispering words that seemed to resonate deep within their souls, echoes of their fears and regrets laid bare before them. "Run!" Jake shouted as he grabbed Maya's hand and pulled her away from the creek's edge. They sprinted back toward town, hearts pounding in unison with terror coursing through their veins. But no matter how fast they ran, or how hard they tried to escape its grasp, they could feel the Wraith closing in behind them, a relentless predator feeding off their fear. One by one, they began to falter. Tom stumbled over roots hidden beneath fallen leaves, while Lily lagged behind, paralyzed by dread as shadows enveloped her vision. "Help me!" she cried out as she was swallowed by darkness, the last remnants of her scream echoing into silence. Maya felt tears streaming down her face as she turned back for just a moment, only to witness Tom being dragged into oblivion by tendrils of shadow reaching out from the Wraith's form. It was then she realized this wasn't just a creature born from legend. It was something far more sinister, a manifestation of everything they had ever feared or regretted. Desperate for survival, Maya and Jake pressed on until they reached an old church at the edge of town, the last bastion against encroaching darkness. They burst through its doors and barricaded themselves inside, while panting heavily from exertion and terror. "What do we do now?" Jake gasped as he leaned against a rotting pew for support. "We wait. We have to wait until dawn," Maya replied shakily, but deep down knew that waiting might not be enough against such malevolence. As hours dragged on like eternity itself within those decaying walls, filled with echoes of prayers long forgotten, shadows crept closer outside, the whispers growing louder until they became deafening screams clawing at their sanity. Then came dawn, a feeble light breaking through stained glass windows, casting eerie patterns across dust-laden floors. But even then, the Wraith lingered just beyond sight, its presence palpable yet elusive, like smoke slipping through fingers, grasping desperately for clarity amidst chaos. When sunlight finally pierced through thick clouds overhead, illuminating everything around them anew, it revealed only emptiness where once stood friends now lost forevermore. Victims claimed by fear itself, woven intricately into fabric, woven tightly around Blackwater Creek. Their fates sealed within legends meant only for those foolish enough dare tread upon cursed ground again. Maya emerged alone from that forsaken place, forever changed, haunted not only by memories etched deep within her mind, but also by realization. Sometimes legends are born not merely from tales told around campfires, but rather truths hidden beneath layers obscured by time, waiting patiently for unsuspecting souls brave enough, or foolish enough, to uncover what lies beneath surface calmness surrounding us all. And so Blackwater Creek remained shrouded in mystery, a warning whispered among thrill-seekers seeking adventure, yet unaware dangers lurking just beyond reach, waiting patiently for next unwitting visitors drawn towards Shadow's fear.